Today, we're delving into the captivating world where AI art meets the power of enhancement, discovering how artificial intelligence can breathe new life into existing artwork. So let's jump right into it. I've imported the AI-generated landing page into Photoshop, and together, we'll transform it into a captivating design that's ready to captivate your audience. We will start by opening a new file project, and we will choose the size of the most common web. I used a resolution of 300 pixels per inch for this one, but you can leave it at default. Using the color picker tool, I picked both background colors from the AI-generated landing page. I am now going to use the rectangle tool to create the background section. I'm using my guides to help me find the middle point of the artboard. Your rectangle might appear with a stroke. Decrease the pixels to 0 to remove it. I will then use the rectangle tool again to make the other part of the background. I will also choose the second color that I picked from the original photo. Using the transform tool, I will move the bottom corner of the rectangle on top to match that of the landing page we are creating. In this case, I will move the bottom rectangle to cover the space created when moving the top rectangle. Great! Now the background is ready and looking good. Okay, the next thing I will import to the design is the main picture. I am using the original picture from the design, but feel free to use your own. I will drag and drop it into the background I created. I will move it around to match the background that we created. Using the Alt key, I will clip it to the gray background so that it does not appear on top of our white background. As you can see here, I am just fiddling with it and moving it around until it is where I think looks good. We might be having different images, so feel free to personalize them. I am also going to reduce the size a bit for it to fit properly. And yes, I am quite happy with how that looks. That's it for our background. Now we will go to the following part. I am thinking of starting with the text layers. However, it will be more practical to start with the call to action buttons. So I will start with the call to action buttons. I will use the color picker to get the yellow color of the buttons, and then move to my artboard. I will also bring back my guides to make sure everything is aligned properly. Using the rectangle tool, I will create a rectangle just like this and move its layer to the top. Oops, I accidentally moved the wrong rectangle since they are not labeled, so choosing the color affected the wrong rectangle. I think this is a good point to label each layer accordingly. Make sure you label your layers to avoid being confused like me. So I will label this one white background and this one CTA 1 inch, so basically call to action 1 and done. I will leave the other ones as they are and move the call to action button to the top. Remember to remove the stroke by using the properties section of the rectangle like so. I will then bevel the edges of the rectangle to about 20 pixels to match those of the original design. Then I will align it with the guide I created, and that's perfect. Holding Alt, I will duplicate it to create the second call to action button, just like the original AI landing page. I will also make use of the guides to align it in the middle and then stretch it from the side to make it wider. And I'm happy with that. Just make sure you zoom in and out and move left to right to get a perfect perspective of different views. And I'm honestly quite happy with how this is looking. Let's now bring back our guides and start putting our text layers. I will choose the text tool to type my first text. Then I will choose Helvetica font. I might change the font later if I end up not liking it. I'm going to create a new layer for my text and I am going to type home, and I will change the text color to black. Referencing the original design, I will then use 5 points as my font size. However, I will keep adjusting it as I bring more text to the design. I am also going to move it to align it with my call to action button. And I will also move it to the left to match the original design. I am holding the Alt key to duplicate the text horizontally, aligning it with the previous one. I will repeat the process for the remaining web pages till I have about 5 pages. I will also change them to lower cases, leaving only the first letter to be on caps. I'm going to then move to the following one and change it to an About page. The other one will be a Locations page, and I will also write it in sentence case. The following page will be the Agencies page, also changing it from all caps. And then the last one is going to be the Prices page. I am going to realign my call to action button again with the new text until they are properly aligned. I will then duplicate the prices text to make a contact call to action text. I am also changing its color to white. I am going to align the text inside my call to action button and also align it accordingly. After zooming in, I feel like the font size is too big, so I will reduce it to 4. I'm going to do it for my home page. I'm also going to decrease the size of my About page. I will do the same for locations, agencies, and prices. Since the size of all the titles is changed, I am now realigning everything to match for the changed size. I will also reduce my call to action rectangle vertically and also stretch it a bit to the left. I am happy with how it looks now. I'm going to change the size of the contact text to 4 points to match the rest and align it to the middle of my button. I will keep aligning my call to action to match the rest of the text and make sure it maintains the same distance between the page titles. I am happy with that. Let's move to the following section, which is the main title of our page. In order to organize everything, I will group all the background layers into one group and lock them to prevent them from moving around. I will then type my heading using the text tool. I went with Perfect Home Built for You, and I'm going to increase the size to 10 points and move it to place using my guide. I am going to move to the subheading above the main headline and change its size to 4 points, as it is the size I used on the page titles. I am going to make it bold and align it with the main heading. I am now going to change its format to a sentence case by making every first letter of the word into a capital letter. I am going to duplicate it to make the second subheading. I will change the spacing of my main title to -10 just to bring the letters a little closer to each other. I also do the same for both my subheadings. After that, I will change the text on my second subheading to 30% off on first homes. I will align all the titles and headings vertically together. I feel like the title is still small, so I will increase its size to 14 points, and also increase the vertical space to 13. After moving my titles to align with the heading, I am going to make them bold for them to stand out a bit more. And I like that. I will move my second call to action button further down to create more space. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate my second title to make the following section of the text. I will change its text to Our Vision, Mission, and Obligations, and I will make it all caps. Let's now duplicate the text to make the body text. I am also going to change it from bold to regular. I will duplicate the text to create the body text. After that, I am going to reduce its size and align it. I will then copy it again and duplicate it to make the body text. Here I am, just correcting the spacing and making it look like the original AI design. I am going to do this until I am happy with how it looks. I will then change the vertical spacing to 5 points to create even space between the lines. I am happy with that. Okay, I am now going to duplicate the text from the first call to action button and move it to the second one. I will change its text to View Pricing Page and align it with the button. I will also resize the button to match the one on top and align everything accordingly. To make sure the buttons are identical, I am going to delete the first button and duplicate the top button to create the second call to action button. I am going to resize it and align it with the rest of the text. I will duplicate the text to make my last section of texts. I am also going to change the text to our 30% deal. I will change the color to yellow to match the original design and align it properly. I don't quite like the font we used, so I am going to change it to Aileron instead. And that concludes our step-by-step guide on designing an AI-generated landing page. We hope you found this tutorial helpful and inspiring. Remember, with the power of AI at your fingertips, creating stunning and effective landing pages has never been easier. Through this exploration, our aim is to inspire you to embrace the potential of AI in your own artistic endeavors. AI art isn't about replacing human creativity, but rather expanding our artistic horizons, challenging us to reimagine what's possible, and empowering us to create with even greater impact. Get ready to witness the awe-inspiring fusion of art and artificial intelligence. If you're as captivated as we are by this fascinating world, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us on Digital Visionary, where we'll continue to push the boundaries of creativity, one brushstroke at a time.